After boiling the wort, all equipment that comes in contact with it must be sanitized just prior to use. Don't take this rule lightly. The beer has to ferment at room temperature for a few weeks, and the only living thing we want in the fermentation bottle is the yeast. Before we begin, I'm going to tell you that my method for sanitizing fermentation bottles is controversial. Generally speaking, it's not a good idea to pour boiling water into a glass container, because the glass may shatter or break due to the sudden and abrupt temperature change. Chips of glass might fly through the air, and they might go right into your eyes, causing severe damage or blindness. So here's my official disclaimer. Do not pour boiling water into your fermentation bottles at home. They could crack or shatter, and chips of glass could fly into your eyes, causing blindness. I will pour boiling water into my own fermentation bottles to sanitize them for entertainment purposes only. Just because it works for me doesn't mean it will work for you. Having said that, I'll also say this. I do take steps to slowly bring the temperature of the fermentation bottle up near boiling point before I actually pour boiling water into it. It's very important to sanitize your equipment to prevent unwanted germs from growing in your beer. It could ruin your batch, making your beer taste nasty. It's never happened to me, so I don't know what it tastes like, and I don't know what the adverse health effects are of drinking such contaminated beer. I sanitize my fermentation bottle in a 5-step process. Step 1. Fill up the fermentation bottle with cold water and add iodine to create a sanitizing solution. Let it sit in the bottle for at least 5 minutes. I could stop after this first step if I wanted to. After all, the instructions on the iodine solution bottle say that you can dump it all out and let it drip dry with no rinsing necessary. But here's a problem that could arise. If there's any iodine left in the fermentation bottle after letting it drip dry, it could kill the yeast that I'll add later to start the fermentation process. I want to be absolutely sure that there's no iodine left in the fermentation bottle, so I go ahead and rinse it out anyway. And since tap water isn't guaranteed to be completely germ-free, I sanitize it by boiling it. I do this in steps 2 through 5. Here's step 2. Fill up the brew pot with water and bring it up to 140 degrees. Dump out the iodine solution. And pour the hot water into the bottle. Step 3. Repeat step 2 with 170 degree water. Step 4. Repeat step 2 with 190 degree water. Step 5. Repeat step 2 with boiling water. I let the boiling water sit in the bottle for about 5 minutes before dumping it out. Immediately after, I'll seal off the bottle with 2 sheets of sanitized heavy-duty aluminum foil. I've started heating up some water that I'll bring to a boil to sanitize the aluminum foil. With the sanitization water boiling and the aluminum foil standing by, I'm ready to seal off the bottle. I must be careful not to burn my arms and hands while dumping out the scalding hot water. Remember, don't try this at home. I'm doing this for entertainment purposes only. I sanitize the aluminum foil before sealing off the bottle. It's important that I press the aluminum foil tightly against the rim with my fingernail to prevent air from getting inside as the bottle cools, and the air inside of it contracts, creating a negative pressure. Cool outside air might have unwanted germs in it. With the fermentation bottle sanitized and standing by, we're almost ready to start the boil. But there's one more thing you must do first. Pull the yeast out of the refrigerator to let it gradually warm up to room temperature. I recommend using liquid yeast in a smack pack such as this. There's a small nutrient pack inside that you must smack. Smack it hard so it'll burst open, releasing its nutrients to get the yeast active.